Hey everybody, welcome to episode 1 of the Cozy Comic Chronicles, which is just my little podcast that I do to record and document the progress that of my Twitch and YouTube channels, just to sort of document how it's going and things that I've learned along the way. If you listen to episode 0, then you kind of have a feel of what this podcast is about. The reason why the last one was episode 0 and not episode 1 was just that I wanted to make a video. I didn't want to think too much about editing or quality. I just wanted to put something and record something. So the last one didn't even have editing. There's a bunch of pauses. This one I'm gonna do my best to edit. Anyway, this is a special episode because I'm recording it on December 12th, and exactly 1 month ago, November 12th, is when I decided, or not when I decided, but that was the day that I streamed for the very first time. And so I guess I'd like to celebrate or reflect on this first month and what it's been like, things that I've learned, things that I have to do better with, things that I think I did a pretty good job at, and what I'd like to see in the second month. So sit back, relax, and I try to make these episodes as calm as possible, like you're on a little spaceship ride or whatever. I guess I'd like to go to that day, November 12th, and what that day was like for me, because streaming is something that I always wanted to try. I would watch Twitch streams all the time, specifically for fighting games. I'm not very good at them and I don't play them often, but watching them on stream for whatever reason is really entertaining for me. So I always thought about streaming games, always thought it would be fun. For years now, I've always thought about it. And if you listen to the prologue, you'll hear why, or episode 0 of Cozy Comic Chronicles, you already have an idea of why I chose to start Cozy Comic Chronicles, so I won't go over it again here. You can go back to episode 0 if you want to listen and find out why I decided to make Chris's Indie Comet. But yeah, going back to November 12th, I pretty much had most of my equipment. I had spent the week, it was a Saturday. I had spent the week getting all my equipment, like my computer, setting up my internet, got a monitor, my webcam, my mic, set up some lights behind me. I pretty much had almost everything set up by November 12th. So I did a few test runs, like recording myself in OBS and trying to figure that out and everything. I had bought a pre-made overlay, which I don't even use anymore. But yeah, so the very last thing that I needed to sort of do and set up was my second monitor. A fun fact about me is that I don't know anything about computers. Like I'm not very technologically sound with a lot of things, especially computers and phones. I always have trouble with those things. So setting up a second monitor sounds like it would be easy, but for me it was not easy, or at least I didn't have the knowledge to figure it out. It took me quite some time. So I tried many different methods. I tried using my laptop as a second monitor. That didn't work because you can only do it remotely, and so there was such a high delay that it was not worth doing. So I went out, I got myself a second monitor and a HDMI cord, and I plugged in my HDMI cord, and it didn't work. The second monitor wasn't showing up. I didn't understand like what I had to do. Messaged the company that created my computer, because I have a pre-made custom PC. So I messaged them and I'm like, hey, I'm plugging in, I have a bunch of HDMI plugs here, but it doesn't seem to be working for my second monitor. I don't know what to do. And so they told me, hey, like, I'm trying to figure out how to explain what they said. Essentially, because I had a custom graphics card, I couldn't plug it straight into the graphics card. I had to plug it into the opposite. I think I couldn't plug it into the PC. I had to plug the HDMI directly into the graphics card, which even now, if you ask me, I have no clue what that means. But the issue that I was running into is that the graphics card port only had one HDMI port, and the rest were a different kind of port that right now I can't even remember the name. I think it had one HDMI port, and then the rest were display ports. So I went out trying to find the right cord that I needed. That took me so long, going back and forth to Target, trying to figure it out with the guy that works there. I went to Target like 4 times that day to try and get the right cord. It was a mess. So I finally get the right cord and I'm ready to stream, and then my audio on OBS sounds like I'm a robot. And I had to figure out like the media source, output capture, and all those things. If you stream or record video, then you understand like what I mean by that and how difficult those things are. When I talk to other content creators about audio, they all they all like give a exasperate. Yeah. And I got it set up. After a while, I finally got everything set up. The very first game I played was a game called Lunastice, which is an indie like 3D platforming game. Very fun game. But the thing is, no one will ever see my first stream because I didn't know that on Twitch, VODs do not automatically save. You have to set the setting. So my very first day streaming, I'll never have that footage, and I really, really wish that I did. But it isn't saved anywhere. I really wanted to reflect on this first month of Chris's Indie Comet, some highlights, some lowlights. I'm gonna try to keep things as uniform, I guess, as possible, just so that it all makes sense and it doesn't sound like stream of consciousness or whatever. The first thing, or the first highlight, I've met some pretty good people in just 1 month. I've come across some pretty talented people and had some really fun conversations. So if you haven't checked out any of my streams, usually I play an indie game and a couple of people are in there, and a lot of times the developer will stop by to watch the stream. And in my opinion, I don't know if that's what I started or if that was in my plan when I first started, but I'm so happy that that's become a thing, and it's something that I really try to look for when I choose my next game to stream, because it is so fun playing the game and having the person who made the game watch and comment and give you little developer behind the scenes. It is so fun, and it's something that I hope can continue, and that viewers kind of see value in that, and that developers see value in that. I love that. And I've met some pretty great people, some pretty great indie developers. I played the first time this happened, I played a game called Mislight. It was a demo which actually currently has a Kickstarter and is about 60% funded. It's like a side-scrolling adventure game. It was so fun, and one of the lead programmers and character designers, and he also made the music for the game, Wall Gallon, he joined the stream, and I had such a great time. We went through the whole demo in one playthrough, and it was so fun. He was there. He gave some tips about when I got lost on some of the maps. He gave me some tips, and that was pretty cool. And I ended up joining his Discord and everything, and I'm actually active in his Discord like regularly. Yeah, and I join his streams sometimes because he's an artist, so I hop in and I watch his streams. I played another demo for an RPG called Alterium Shift. That one was really fun. And both of the developers on that game joined the stream. and I had a really great time. That of all my Twitch clips or posts on YouTube and Twitter, I mean, not YouTube, I don't think I put anything for YouTube for that game, but on Twitter that has my highest engagement because they really did a great job on that game. And then I played a few of Sebastian's games on my Twitch as well, and he joined the stream, and his wife as well joined because she helps him with some of the art in the game. She draws the art for his games. That was a really fun day as well. We played about 4 of his games, and that was my first developer showcase, and that was really fun. Just recently, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, 2 days ago, I played a game called Oakenfold, and that was a really fun game as well. And the developer, he is from Amsterdam, and he joined the stream, and it was such a great time. And that has been one of my favorite parts about streaming, is connecting with indie devs, because I really think that brings value to the stream when they join. So that's definitely been one of the biggest highlights. I've also made some connections with other streamers, like it's Jay Sosa. I'm always in his streams, and he comes to mind as well. Jenny, my friend MK, D Lady, she joins sometimes. Like, it's been really cool interacting with and networking with other streamers on Twitch and through Discord and everything like that. So that's been another highlight. Definitely the connections that I've made so far with others has been really fun. Some of my lowlights, or some things that has been bothering me in this first month, has been a little bit of my own impatience. Right now on Twitch, I average about 2.5 viewers a stream, which when you're just starting out, I guess is not bad, because it could be 0, right? I could be stuck at 0. I get a little impatient because I start to wonder if what I'm doing is right. Like, is it what people want to see? But I think back, I try to get rid of those feelings, and I think back on what my intent is. And my intent is to build a platform where indie developers and indie gamers have a place that they can come to, have a chill environment, and interact with each other, and maybe to bring some things to light that somebody might not have known about, a game that someone might not have known about. So that's really like my intent, and I try to keep that in mind when I'm feeling a little bit impatient. Another thing that's been crazy is how long it takes to upload a YouTube video. It takes so long for those things to update. I had no idea what you YouTubers had to go through. Yeah, it took all day just for me to upload a VOD, a VOD from my Twitch. So that's something that I learned as well. Another thing that I learned is, or that I wish that I did different, was that I didn't spend so much time on how things looked. I think like having a certain level of quality is definitely okay, but stressing on overlays or the way something, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to get the message across in a professional way. So I think going forward, for at least this second month, I'm not going to put so much focus on getting something to look perfect or anything to look perfect. I think that comes with time and practice. Overall though, I am glad that I've stuck with the streaming. I think in this past month I've streamed 10 times. That's about the most I want to do in a month right now, is stream 2 times a week. So usually there's 5 weeks, so 2 times a week leaves you about 10, and that's like a good spot for me right now of where I want to be. So I want to consistently stream 2 times a week going into the second month. Another goal I have is to try to write an article on my blog at least every other day, to have something up there. And I would also like to get at least 1 YouTube video per week for this coming month, just because I know, like, streaming on Twitch is not going to be the way to get viewers on Twitch. I know that sounds crazy, but that's something I noticed as well, is anyone who has joined my stream has joined from we've made connections outside of the stream. That's definitely something that I'm going to try to do, is to have more blog posts and more YouTube videos and everything, and try to get where I want to be with this. I'm trying to work through like the anxiety and the self-doubt and all of that by just putting my head down and getting to work and trying to stay true to myself and make connections with others, because ultimately that's my passion, and that's usually the gist of whatever I'm doing, or what I get the most out of. Even when I go to like my normal job or I go anywhere, I think I revel in making connections with others. Like that's really what I love to do, and that's what Chris Indie Comet is about, you know. I want to make connections with the people who play games, with people who make games. Ultimately, I have some pretty big goals, and I want to be able to assist people in making games somehow and provide resources. But that's later on down the line. Either way though, I think that's all I've got to say about this first month. I have some more interesting topics coming up that I can't wait to talk about and document. If you're listening to this podcast, thank you very much. Thank you for supporting Chris Indie Comet. Thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate that. You know, making content is, I can definitely see how difficult it is now that I'm 1 month into it. It doesn't just happen. And I really want to work hard to show that I appreciate the support, even if it's just 1 or 2 people. I don't care, because I'm not really into this thing for the numbers right now. I'm working hard to build something that's worth something. If you're listening and you made it to the end here, thank you for listening. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great holiday season, and yeah, just thank you. Bye.